Bad movie. I don't recommend it. Hi. Filming on the floor today. There's a mess of books behind me, and there is a mess of insulation on the sides. And yeah, so that is why the scene looks a bit different today. But I want to talk about the book that I read in, well, two books that I read in July, Great Gatsby and A Wrinkle in Time. Now I'm going to start with The Great Gatsby first because this video is titled The Book versus the Movie. And I read this, well, I was supposed to have read it in high school, but I didn't. I instead read Spark Notes, so basically a summary of everything that happened, and then I watched the movie. So I cannot give any opinion on this because all I could think of was the movie that I already seen, and I cannot tell you what was different and what's not different because I don't remember anything. I read this and had a good time. I was vibing. That was it. That's all I can say. So that was out of the way. Short, sweet, simple. I do recommend this if you're looking for a short classic that's just a good time. Like, I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But it was good. Now, A Wrinkle in Time isn't really a classic. At least for some people. But for me, it is a classic because I love this book very much. And it has old book smell, which means it's a classic in my mind. I watched the first movie that came out many years ago, and then I read the book in school, and I enjoyed it very much. And then I read this again, and I watched I think it was the 2019 or 2018, maybe 2017 version, as Oprah Winfrey in it. And I hated it. So I'm going to do a live reaction real quick. Roll those clips. I'm paying for this. It better be good, I swear. Okay, so I'm 8 minutes in. I know, not very far at all. And I already have something to say. I'm watching the one with Oprah Winfrey. It's the new one. There's a date, it says October 16, 2020, but I thought it came out in 2018. Whatever the newest one is. They have Charles Wallace in school already, and he's not supposed to be in school, and he's also a chatterbox, a very mouthy chatterbox. And that is also not in line with the story. He's supposed to be very reserved and not in school. He's supposed to be like a toddler, a little baby brother. Not yet. It's the little details that are gonna get me so worked up. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch the rest of it. I'll check back in later. I didn't get very far. I'm 11 minutes in, and I'm back at it. So Miss Whatsit is supposed to be introduced during a storm, looking very shabby and just a mess. And you have, is this Reese Witherspoon? I don't know who this is, playing Miss Whatsit. And she's draped in the sheets that they stole earlier in the book, which were not meant to be worn as such. They're also missing the twin brothers. I'm sorry, where are Sandy and Dennis? What? This is already so wrong. I don't like it. When Miss Whatsit also comes into the picture, Miss Murray is supposed to be very welcoming, because in the book she's been caught out in a storm. She looks a mess, and she's very kind and offers to make her a sandwich and whatnot. In this movie, they have Miss Murray very hostile-like. Like she's shielding Charles Wallace away and saying that that Miss Whatsit needs to leave, which I feel like paints Miss Murray sort of differently, at least in my mind, because Miss Murray's supposed to be this kind and gentle and very understanding woman, and instead I get this feeling so far in the movie that she's kind of a stricter type of parent. I don't know. An hour in, I have about 49 minutes left of A Wrinkle in Time, and they just made it to Camazotz, and they're supposed to be walking through the small town and into the Central Intelligence building. Instead, they're on a beach, and the man with red eyes offers them food at on like a beach towel picnic blanket type thing, and immediately starts saying the times table, and gets Charles hypnotized immediately. You missed out on everything else. Like you didn't have a kid mess up bouncing the rhythm of the ball. You also have everyone bouncing balls, no jump rope, which I was kind of annoyed about. I'm really not liking this. I also feel like if I were to watch the movie that was made before this, I probably wouldn't like that one as much either. But I think it's truer to the book so far than this one is. So they found Mr. Murray, and he does not look a day older. He's been gone for a couple years, about 4 years, and I'm almost certain his hair would be a lot longer, especially since the books mention that he looks horrid and very different than the Mr. Murray that Meg knew before he left, but she knew that he was the same father. He's also not basically blind. He can see that it's her. There also isn't that entire scene of Charles Wallace trying to steal the Mrs. Who's glasses before Meg gets into her father. Everything is just so... Why even make a movie about a book if you're not going to follow the book? This was the worst $5 I ever spent in my entire life. I hated this so much. But yeah, worst like $5 I ever spent. I have a few notes. The one note is watching it was literal torture. So I mentioned a few things about why I didn't like it in those clips, mainly being things didn't line up with the book at all. The first thing I hated was the fact that the boy that Meg was supposed to have beaten up on like page 4, who called her baby brother Charles Wallace a dumb baby brother, she like gave him a black eye and whatnot. I didn't like how the movie, instead of making it a boy she was fighting, they made it a Mean Girls vibe, where it's a posse of girls who are just bullying Meg. And it felt so cliche and uninteresting, and it kind of ruined the vibe for me. I don't really know why, but yeah. And then Charles Wallace isn't supposed to be in school yet. He's a bit too young. He might be kindergarten age, but I don't think he's first grade age. He was like 6 or something, and he doesn't talk to anybody. And yet in the movie, they have Charles Wallace back-mouthing his teacher and shouting across the playground to Meg, who threw a basketball at Veronica's face, which, I don't know, it was annoying, because Charles Wallace is supposed to be this secluded guy to other people, and just very comfortable talking to his family, and then they just wipe that entire thing out. Like, I feel like that's important to his character. I don't know. Another thing I had, Mrs. Whatsit is so rude. I don't recall Miss Whatsit being as rude in the book as she was to Meg in the movie. Anytime Meg was around and did something somewhat questionable, Miss Whatsit would be like, "Are you guys sure about Meg? You know, I'm not really feeling her." Like, chill, bro. I did not like it whatsoever. Miss Whatsit to me in the book was very kind and supportive and was like rooting for Meg. It was Miss Witch who was a little hesitant and like, "Are we sure about this?" And speaking of Miss Witch, in this movie she materializes, even though throughout the book it's made very clear that Miss Witch cannot materialize because it takes up too much energy for her. So I thought that was a bit unreasonable. Maybe it's because Mrs. Oprah. Oprah was playing and they wanted to have her character shown because it's Oprah. I thought it was stupid. I have a lot of things to say about Mr. Murray and Mr. Murray's case. So in the book, Mr. Murray is on a confidential, top secret mission with the government. And that's when he Tesseracts. They drew straws. He was the second. The first person disappeared, never came back, so he was next. And that's basically what happened. He did not leave his family. But in the movie, they have him out in his shed discovering the Tesseract. He looks back at his family then through the window, and he just, and he disappears. Like, it made it seem like he left on purpose. And that made me so annoyed. Like, you just ruined my Murray family, who are so bonded and close-knit. You ruined it in one scene. So that was really annoying. Also, when they found Mr. Murray, he did not look like he'd been there for like a couple years. He looked exactly the same. And he still was able to see, which, I mean, isn't that big of a deal, I guess, but it, you know, Mrs. Who's glasses kind of were important, and they were given to him in the book, but not in the movie. Yeah, so there's that. And then when they're talking about the places that Mr. Murray tesseracted to, in the book he tesseracted to one place, and that was Camazotz. In the movie, though, they said he teleported, tesseracted to other places, including the planet that Aunt Beast lives on. And that was probably the part that made me so mad. Aunt Beast plays such an important part towards the end of this book, and having Meg realize her own self-worth and confidence to go back for Charles Wallace. And they sum it up by saying, "Oh look, there's Aunt Beast. Your father was there for a little bit." Like, you do not, they gloss over it within the first, 15 minutes into the movie. You robbed me of that. Like, next point. It was weird looking LMAO, not exactly what I thought a mine would look like. I don't know what I meant by that. I guess it was just weird. I know that they didn't show a brain at all. Well, okay, they sort of did. Like, they sort of showed, like, the tendril type, like, thing. Like, imagine you're inside of a brain. Kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. So, I guess I did kind of show that. I also skipped over, yeah, I got that. Murray Hessard, even though, right, okay. So, I got all those notes. I don't remember what else I mentioned in the clips, but I have another bone to pick with just the writing of the book, where they're constantly saying Meg is weak and stupid, and that's why she's chosen. And I just felt so bad for her because everyone is saying she's weak and stupid. And that's why she was chosen to be the hero. I don't know. That's just, it's off with me. I don't like it very much, but that's not the movie's fault, that's the book's fault. But, yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it. I hated the movie so much. I liked the movie I saw before, the first one, not this newer version. It was just so meh. Oh, I know, they didn't show, I think I'm rambling. Like I said, I don't remember everything that I mentioned in the clips, but the scenery on Camazotz wasn't what it was in the book, which was a bit disappointing. They ended up on a beach, and then they immediately ate the food, and Charles Wallace immediately succumbed to it. It was like, you didn't really get to the point or the knowledge that these people that live in Camazotz are being brainwashed, which is actually kind of odd now that I think about it. Like, that's arguably the most important part about Camazotz, and they didn't seem to allude to that at all. Yeah, bad movie. Bad movie. I don't recommend it. Book is better, movie sucks. I do want to do some more of these, where I read the books that I have that are turned into movies, and discuss. Maybe I'll find a good book adaptation that's more accurate to the book. I hope so, because it's just so sad when they're not. Like, it's a book lover's nightmare. Yeah, thank you for watching and listening to my probably repetitive rant. I hope to see you in the next one, and hopefully it's not as anger fueled as this one. But thanks for watching. Bye bye.